I know a lot of you guys are adults and you're successful, but there's a lot of kids that tune into this YouTube channel, uh, and they've never been taught life lessons. So I'm going to address the kids that subscribe to this channel. A lot of you guys haven't been taught how to be successful, how to be happy, and yeah, you have to be taught. It's not something that you're just born with an instinctual ability to be happy. It has to be passed down. I'm sure that if you were born somewhere without human interference, like if you were Tarzan, born in the jungle, you could probably just be happy, as are a lot of tribes in Africa. But being happy, being successful, being fulfilled, being excited about tomorrow, these are all things that you want, and yet if you're not, wouldn't it be nice to have somebody explain why, explain how you're sabotaging yourself? That's what I'm going to do in this video, because every once in a while, like most of the time I don't even look at the comments, but every once in a while when I'm tuning my bots to just automatically delete comments or automatically block comments, I just kind of look to see, are people still upset? Are people still full of hate and hurting themselves? And it just makes me cringe. You know, there's a old Taoist proverb. It says, if you take food from someone, if you take food from a man and then later curse him, you'll get indigestion. If you eat from someone's table and then later curse him, you'll get indigestion. Well, indigestion doesn't sound that bad. Yeah, it's not all that bad. You get indigestion often enough, you'll get what is that? That food pipe ends up getting ulcerated, and then that ulcer, if that happens often enough, you'll get throat cancer, and then throat cancer spreads to the brain and you die. But let's make this more realistic. Instead of food, what if it's knowledge that you're choking on? So this is what I mean by that. If you're not successful, if you're not happy, if you're not fulfilled in life, if you're not excited about tomorrow, you're going to be miserable. But you're doing it to yourself. You're literally doing it to yourself. You're causing this circumstance. And on the one hand, you're saying you want to be happy, successful, wealthy, capable, and independent, and free of financial worries, and excited for tomorrow, instead of worried about whether a bill's going to come around tomorrow. You say you want these things, but you're acting against your own desires. You're sabotaging yourself. You're your enemy. It's like, you know how in those cartoons you have the good angel and the bad angel, your conscience, your good conscience, and your evil side telling you what to do. Ever notice that they look just like you? In the cartoons. Cartoonists aren't dumb, they're successful people. What you're doing is what your heart really wants and what your mind really wants, they're conflicting. So if you end up following any channel that gives you information, YouTube channel, or listening to any high school teacher that gives you information, or even your parents that are actually functional parents. I'm not talking about dysfunctional parents, but I'm talking about good, healthy parents that tell you things and tell you how to live. If you hate them, you are causing mental indigestion, and you will cause mental cancer, and you will cause yourself mental death, which is why you're unhappy, unsuccessful, poor, and frustrated with your life. Yeah. If you learn anything from someone and then you curse at them, you hate the person you learned from, you're cursing your life. It's a curse. It's like a hex. It's like what witches do, is they go around and hex people, and you're doing it to yourself. You're bewitching yourself with a curse. Well, that just sounds superstitious. That sounds stupid. I'll tell you how it works. You know how, okay. Think of your favorite ice cream in the color red. Go, think of your favorite ice cream in the color red. Did you just think of something? Just by saying it, I already thought of something. I thought about when ice cream used to cost, what, 25 cents a scoop at Thrifty's. The color red is that the color of the Thrifty's logo, I think? Huh, it's amazing how it brings back memories. Your mind ends up connecting, just random words end up connecting to a myriad. And I remember my mom, and I remember the dresses she used to wear. I remember that she sometimes would let me buy 3 scoops instead of just 1, but sometimes she just yelled at me for buying 3 scoops. I remember a time the 3rd scoop from the top fell down and I cried. All you have to do is say 1 or 2 words and you remember everything. Your entire life comes back to you, right? It's even more so with smell, because smell, the sense of smell goes deep into your body. The sense of sight doesn't go deep into your body. It just kind of stays really surface level. The sense of hearing goes a little deeper into your head, but it doesn't go into your body. You see that? This is Taoism. So the sense of smell goes way deep into your body. It's a lot more, it's the most, what's the word? I'm forgetting the word that I like to use. Anyway. Okay, so you get that? Your mind creates pools of information. Your mind creates spheres or universes of information where this information is clustered in here, and this information is clustered in here. You know how you notice how I still can't remember the word that I want to use to describe that. It's like case in point, right? It's because I'm in this universe of my childhood where that word didn't exist in my vocabulary, and it's having a hard time connecting to another universe where that word does exist. So there are different universes, and it's really difficult to go from one universe to another universe, as you can see with my mental brain clot right now. So that's how the mind works. Now let's give you, visceral is the word I was thinking of, now that I'm getting into this. Let's give you a more visceral example. Something you used to really like, that you used to really, really love to enjoy to eat. Let's say it's lasagna, I don't know, let's say it's mustard, let's say it's whatever. And while you're eating this, you and your girlfriend or boyfriend, whoever you're with, or your mom or dad, just got really pissed off and slapped you or yelled at you or cursed at you or said something to you that just hurt you so much, and ever since then, you've never eaten it. Think about that. I used to love this so much, but because I had an emotionally traumatic experience, I had an anger-filled, fear-filled, hate-filled experience, coupled with this food in my presence during that time, now, for some reason, it just doesn't taste as good. You know why it tasted really good? It's because it used to have, maybe it was the first time you went to a ballpark with your dad. Maybe it was the first time your mom actually said, hey, I'm so proud of you. Maybe it was whatever. But this food that you had, that you love so much, or maybe it just tastes real good. But I guarantee you, the moment you have a traumatic experience along with that food that you used to love so much, you're not going to like it as much. You might even grow an allergy to it. Yep. Allergies aren't just physical. They can be psychosomatic. You can imagine, you can be told that if you really have a peanut allergy and a shellfish allergy, eating peanuts and shellfish will give you an allergy, an anaphylactic shock. But what if someone told you that this food had peanuts and seafood in it? Guess what? Same reaction, even if there was none in there. Scary, isn't it? It's super, super scary. The mind is so powerful, the mind can behave as though. So here's the thing. The way the mind works, the taste of peanuts and the taste of clams tells your mind, hey, there's peanuts and clams in my food. Holy shit. Body, shut down, go, now. But the same way to tell your mind that is if a chef comes out and says, hey, sorry, I put peanuts and clams in your food. Same thing happens. Your taste buds can tell you that, or your ears can tell you that. Both tell you the same thing, and your body starts shutting down. Bam. That's how the body works. That's how the mind works. Okay, now let's get back to the hate in the comments. If you're watching a channel, it's because you're learning from it, right? You want to learn something, you want to know something, and you might pick up a thing or two. And then you go, and every single time you see other people making money, every single time you see other people being successful, you get angry and say, oh, I'm sure that's bullshit, or I'm sure that's a scam, or I'm sure that's a fraud. You just get, everybody does that. I've been in business since I was a teenager. And yeah, and even when I was a teenager, I had the experience of seeing the most beautiful girl in school was always called a slut. Obviously lies, right? But it just makes the people calling the girl a slut feel better because the girl didn't give him her phone number. So it just makes him feel better by cursing at somebody that they used to like. Now, keep all these random points in mind because I'm drawing random constellational points for you so that you can actually link them back up in your neurology. When you pick up a point like how to draw a triangle, or how to spot a inverse head and shoulders, or how to spot a head and shoulders so you can sell really quick, how to know whether there are venture capitalists pushing a coin to multimillionaires and billionaires or not. So these are things, little tiny things that you pick up, and then as you learn these things, if suddenly you start generating the emotion of anger and hate and displeasure, guess what will happen? This information that could have been good for you, that you could use your entire life, let's say cryptocurrency dies, you can use this information to trade Forex, stocks, micro caps. You can use this information to analyze any kind of data that's on any kind of two-dimensional chart. And yet, because you allowed anger to overcome you, you become allergic to the data. Scary. Think about how scary that is. You becoming allergic to education. You become allergic to the things that can become tools to you. So now the next time you see a chart and you see an inverse head and shoulders, guess what your mind will do? Because your mind becomes allergic to it, you'll be closed off to it. You won't even see the inverse head and shoulders. You'll lose 30% of your money, and your wife that barely decided to marry you out of the pity of her heart because you're still a miserable old bastard, says, hey, why did you lose 30% of our money? Can't you see that inverse head and shoulders? And you'll say, holy shit, I never noticed that inverse head and shoulders. You did, but your subconscious repressed it because of all your hate. Because that inverse head and shoulders, which is positive data, it's educational data, it's beneficial data, you clumped it together with hate data, and because it's in that one universe together, your body, your mind, it just ostracizes it. It puts it in its own little cupboard. It closes it off and puts it away from you so that you don't have to feel anger anymore. So what else is in this? What else is in this sphere of hate that you carry? Take an inventory of it. How many amazing, wonderful people are in here? How many amazing, wonderful educational moments, facts, learnings are in this sphere that you happen to stow along in the same cardboard crate as hate that you're never ever going to be able to access again in your life. And then when you're 50 years old, bald and overweight like your dad, at least this video will have told you how.